Hi everybody and welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video and gameplay. Today I'm featuring a deck that showed up on Swim's channel the other day. It was a garbage deck activate, which he kind of thought was a good idea and was interesting, and when I saw it as well I thought was pretty cool. It's a Bilgewater Noxus midrange deck that utilizes Draven, Misfortune, and the Hunting Fleet. The Hunting Fleet was recently changed this last patch. It is now a 6/6 instead of a 7/7. 5 mana unit. It is now 4 instead, and it summons a golden narwhal, which is kind of a downside to the card and why a lot of people don't like it. You're summoning an elusive unit on the opposite side of the board. But the reason why this is okay in this deck, really, where we get a huge kind of hunting fleet unit at the expense of the golden narwhal, is that we have ways to get rid of the golden narwhal with Draven, who's got quick attack, with the Legion Drummer, who offers quick attack, and then with these overwhelm units. We have 3 of Might, and we've also got Kato the Arm and Chum the Waters. All of those cards have overwhelm, which allows us to use that vulnerable ability on the golden narwhal and on other units that we grant it to with Hired Gun and Sheriff Lariat Rose, and power through them and be able to hit the Nexus with big hits every single round. So that's basically the idea of the deck, is that we use vulnerable on these units, we use overwhelm and our huge power stat lines to take out the Nexus fast and the enemy units. For card draw in this deck, we also have the Trifarian Assessor. We are running a ton of cards that have 5 power, so it's pretty easy to get some decent card draw with her. And we have a lot of power-up options with Vision, with Might, with Transfusion, and then with Draven's Spinning Axes, they grant attack damage as well, so we can get multiple draws off this Trifarian Assessor. We're running 1 Reckoning in this deck as well. The reason for this, there's some aggro decks, still elusive aggros. They generally don't have a lot of attack on all of their units, so you can use Reckoning to take out a lot of units on the enemy's board if they don't have any 5 power units. 1 off of that, and we are also running one of Draven's biggest fan, who basically acts as a second Draven. You put him down, and then you're automatically guaranteed to draw a Draven the next round. So that's kind of nice to have as well. Works well with the Trifarian Assessor too. You can play that, the Draven's biggest fan, play the Trifarian Assessor, and then automatically draw Draven late game if you haven't yet. So that can come in handy as well. So that is about it for this deck. It's pretty fun. You should try it out. Definitely a different type of mid-range deck that is I find it enjoyable and also somewhat competitive as well. It's not a perfect deck, but it is definitely different and worth trying out. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. So we're going against an Ash Freljord Noxus deck here. This is probably going to be like the standard Sejuani Ash deck, just minus the Sejuani, so I don't know if this could possibly be any better than that deck. I don't know if you can be good, not including Sejuani. We get pretty good draws here with our mulligan. We drop 3 of the cards and end up getting the Draven's biggest fan, which is nice. We're only running 1 of him in the deck, and now if he attacks with his Omen Hawk, we can block with somebody. He's our only 1 mana card in the entire deck as well, so kind of funny. Not as important though, because the enemy, like I said, doesn't have Sejuani to level up. Alright, we're going to give the Omen Hawk vulnerable here. If he doesn't have a play, we can get some damage on the Nexus and preserve our units as well. And it doesn't look like he does. He might have an Elixir of Iron here, and he doesn't, so we get that damage through, nice and easy. And we're looking pretty good. Alright, we've got Hunting Fleet, Draven, and Kato the Arm, so we have a pretty good curve as well right now. We can play Draven this turn if we want. He puts down his Trifarian, and we put down a Draven. He's going to attack with this. Now we need to decide if we want to attack or not, because we can do quite a bit of damage next round if we open attack, so erring on the side of not wanting to attack here and using health as more of a resource right now and be able to do 7 damage next round or possibly more. Just kind of depends on what we want to do here. And I think I'm going to let this go through. Let's try to get more damage on him than he's going to do on us. And I'm also somewhat wary of things like Reckoning. That could be a potential card that he has here, so I'm kind of wanting to put down a bigger unit so that not all of my units die if he does have Reckoning. So I put down the Hunting Fleet, which summons for him a Golden Narwhal as well, but we are attacking, so we should be able to get rid of that here. I need to be a little bit wary of some other potential card tricks that he could have, like Frostbites and things like that, making my units have 0 power. I do have kind of ways to counteract that. I have the one spinning axe that I can use if I really need to. And he doesn't do anything, so that really telegraphs to me that he's got a card in hand that he can play, something like Fury of the North or a Frostbiter or something that's going to make my attack weaker. So I'm not going to actually attack the Golden Narwhal here with Draven because I'm worried that he's got something to be able to kill Draven with and I won't be able to protect him, so I actually pull it over to the Draven's biggest fan. Alright, now he has no mana left. I can actually kill this Golden Narwhal here with Draven's biggest fan if I want to. I'm deciding if I want to discard anything, and I end up thinking that it's probably worth it just so that we can get rid of it. I could have waited around and used the spinning axe on something else, but I kind of want to get rid of that and keep his board as manageable as possible. We are running a little bit out of steam here. We do have a Trifarian Assessor in hand, which will be nice for card draw. I just want to get Kato the Arm down first so I can get 2 cards out of it instead of 1. And we ended up discarding Chum the Waters, which was another 5 power unit that we could have used for the Trifarian Assessor, which is why I took a little bit of time to think about whether or not I actually wanted to discard that. And he does have a lot of 5 power units himself, so I do need to be quite a bit worried about Reckoning. I don't want to set myself up to get my entire board wiped here. Alright, so he's got a Trifarian Glory Seeker. I don't really want to play anything. I don't want to tap under 3 mana here and not be able to play Whirling Death if I need to. So that's why I'm taking a little bit of... I don't commit to anything. He ends up having an Iceval Archer, and we're just going to pass it back to him. Once again, I'm keeping Whirling Death as an option. I decide, I'm thinking rather than use Whirling Death, I'm just going to play the Draven this round because, one, I don't really lose too much out of it. I can put down a Draven, but I also get another Spinning Axe in hand to use. That's why I didn't use Whirling Death. Now, his Trifarian Glory Seeker can't block next round either if I open attack here, but I'm considering developing, especially now that I drew a Might. So I'm going to put Kato the Arm down here. I do need to be worried about more Frostbites and Reckoning, so it's nice to have Kato down, so it makes his Reckoning a little bit less powerful if he does decide to use it. And now we also have Kato down. We can put the Trifarian Assessor down next round as well. Alright, so we're just going to attack with everybody here. He's only got an Ash. We're going to force him to block with Ash and get out any other spells he could possibly have, like Flash Freeze or Brittle Steel. We do have a way to take out Ash because more than likely he's going to be wanting to get rid of Draven here. So he does put the Ash in front of Draven. That tells me he's got a spell that he can use. He's got only 3 left in hand and only 2 mana. So we do have a way to get rid of Ash here, providing that he doesn't have another Brittle Steel in hand, which would really suck for us because we just used a lot of our resources to get rid of this Ash. So hopefully he doesn't have another, and he doesn't, so we drop him down to 5 health, and we also preserve our Draven here. Also, it's nice that we were able to also preserve our other 2 cards because now we can play the Trifarian Assessor and get some card draw. We're running a little bit thin here with cards in our hands. So he has another Trifarian Glory Seeker. We are going to play our Trifarian Assessor here, draw some cards, we get another Whirling Death and another Trifarian Assessor. That's really nice. He's got his own. And now let's see if he attacks here. We have Whirling Death to protect our units if we need to this time. It's not a Draven's Whirling Death, so we do probably want to use it. depending on what he does. He ends up attacking our Draven. Alright, and I might just let this go through. One, he doesn't have enough mana to play units really, and so I have a good chance of finishing him off next round if I don't use any of my spells. So I'm actually just going to let this go through. And I have mana now to play the Legion Drummer. And now my side of the board is looking a lot better than his. I've got Overwhelm and Quick Attack both on my side of the board. So unless he has more spells to stop me, I can finish the game here. So that's kind of why I let Draven die. I wanted to develop my board a little bit more. So we're going to play the Legion Drummer first, then Kato, then the Trifarian Assessor. And we're going to force him to use a lot of spells here, which, one, if I can't finish the game now, he's going to use a ton of mana. And possibly not be able to play any more units on his side of the board. Alright, so he did have a spell to frostbite me. We have Might here, so we're going to threaten him one more time. And force him to use more spell mana here. Okay, so he's got a flash or a Brittle Steel, and now we're just going to Whirling Death his Trifarian Assessor. So we did pretty good here, mostly because we were able to, one, preserve our units on our side of the board, and we also forced him to use a lot of cards and spell mana here. He ends up having an Avaros and Trapper. Not much we can do about that. And he's got his own Kato the Arm. So I need to decide whether or not I want to pass here. I'm going to probably pass it back to him. Let him, if he's got, and he ends up drawing his enrage. Yeah, dude, I was lucky. Okay, so now we know he's going to be threatening quite a bit of damage. So we're forced to play our Hunting Fleet here. There's not much other things that we can do. And he's going to also get summoned for him a Golden Narwhal, which kind of hurts us, but at the same time will allow us to kill his Kato and his Enraged Yeti and not take a ton of damage. I'm going to decide what he wants to do here. Alright, so he kind of chickens out actually, and I'm okay with just taking the 2 damage. Nothing wrong with that. We get some more card draw here. Vision is a super nice draw. Super nice draw with those spinning axes in hand. And now we're just going to attack here. Once again, I'm forcing him to use spell mana if he has it. And if he doesn't have any spells, then we can just win the game with our Overwhelm.
I apologize to your parents.
So I'm definitely being the aggressor here. And I'm trying to finish out the game, and I'm forcing him to use spells if he had it. So it was important kind of the last round, or my last attacking round, that I forced so much out of him, because now he can't save himself this time. We know he had a ton of units, and he's trying to kill me with Coaling Strike, and I can easily negate that with Vision and a Spinning Axe. And now, more than likely, he's not going to be able to do anything to me. Yep. Alright, so we're going to get the win here. Ended up being a pretty good gameplay, and we ended up getting the win. So this is kind of, it's a pretty fun mid-range deck, to be honest. I would recommend trying it out. It's definitely a different flavor than a lot of the ones running around right now. It makes you think a little bit. It's not super easy, but not super hard either. You should give it a try. It's pretty fun. We end up getting a win out of it. So.